Wikipedia isn't the most reliable thing all the time.
Indeed.
So I'm going to ask you which are true and which are not true. That's what I want to find out.
We'll work with what we can work with. How about that?
Okay, I'll see what we have
Okay.
here, and you'll tell me if it's true or false.
Okay.
You had a 98-1 win-loss record. Now the WWE listed it as 103-1. Which is it?
Right.
Or is it either?
Okay. It is one of those. And the thing is, you have to understand, in professional wrestling, everything is embellished, if you will. I think that's what I'm looking for. So if a guy's 5'9", he might be listed as 6 foot instead. If a guy weighs 210 pounds, he might be listed as 225 pounds. Especially if he can fit that bill. But yes, Pope Elijah Burke only lost one fight in 3.5 years. There's nobody that can tell you any different, because that is fact. That is fact. A guy of my caliber wouldn't have, as far as the boxing goes, would not have had the following, became such a big thing in Jacksonville, Florida, had I not. So there you go. There's your answer.
Is it true that your one loss was due to disqualification, or was that embellished?
I did have a loss, and the loss was not by knockout. Okay, so the loss was a loss. Whether it was a unanimous decision, split decision, it wasn't a unanimous decision either. But whether it's a split decision or disqualification or whatever the case may be, I did get that one loss, and it was against the opponent that whom I obliterated in one of our first fights. So yeah, broke his nose. I mean, it was like a running faucet, man. And I'll tell you this: I give you a little secret, a little something that nobody knows, and that's only because I really like you, Sean. And I know you are a modern day Diane Sawyer, so you're supposed to warm up to everybody and get them to tell you everything. Not going to work here, Daddy. Okay, not going to work. But that was my Donald Trump without the accent.
I see that.
It's going to be big. Okay, very big. I don't know how big. It's just going to be big. But I went in, and so I will say this. In that matchup, I was not supposed to fight. I wasn't going to fight. Me and my team, we had a great plan, because every time Guns N' Roses came around, not because I was just the most entertaining combatant that was participating every time, I truly began to believe that these people kept trying, wanted me to be a part, because they wanted me to get beat. They wanted someone to beat me. And it's like, it was like, it's like Mayweather. Hey, Mayweather, take this fight. We know that we got somebody for you this time. We got Manny Pacquiao, blah, blah, blah. You want to see him get beat after a while. And so that was the big deal with me. And in my grand scheme of things, we decided I was going to go in, I was going to take some punches in the corner, and I was going to do a Ric Flair flop. And then let the count happen, and then get up, and I can't continue, because I've always been a great actor in my own right. So that was what we were going to do, and So and just to piss everybody off the more, and then as soon as it was over with, get up, walk out, smile, and make just rob everybody. So that was my own dusty finish.
The next one is it true that the phrase 4 up came from the phrase "I'm going to give you 5 upside your head," used by comedians such as Red Fox?
Yes, and the funny part about that is there is some more behind that, but I'll say that for a book one day. But that statement is absolutely true. It's a dual meaning. It's a dual meaning. As a matter of fact, if you go back to 2008, 2008 when I faced Balls Mahoney, I believe it was on ECW television. You would notice I started changing the P to red instead of all black. So it's a dual meaning to why I wear that, but that meaning is also personal. But when I got in, and I was finding myself as Elijah Burke, Matt Hardy helped me out a great deal during that time, as far as with my finisher, the Elijah Express. He gave me just some little veteran knowledge and little tricks of the trade of how I can make that move more impactful. You might, if you get time, you can go back and watch how I did the Elijah Express. Then when me and Turkai went against the FBI on that December to Dismember pay-per-view, or that December that I forgot pay-per-view. But if you can go watch that, you will see a big difference in how I was doing my Elijah Express then versus later. So you'll see a huge difference, and that's thanks to Matt Hardy. I want to give him credit on that. And Undertaker was waiting for me one day. I went to the back, and he said, "Hey man," he said, "Look," he said, and the JBL used to put me over really, really good about my boxing background. And just so you know, I mean, WWE ain't gonna just. Well, they will, but I mean, they might embellish things or make it different, but they did that background check to talk about my boxing if they were going to push it. So, but Undertaker said you need to do something to make that if that's who you are, make it a part of your character. He said, and I'm like, well, what? He said, I don't know what you do, but just do something that can pay tribute or homage to your boxing background. And so that's when I started taking my fist. And when I take my fist, I believe it was him still, like, or maybe no. I just started taping my fist up, and I think from that moment, once I started taping it, I started to write the 4-up. And the 4-up is just simply, again, to my boxing and tough man background. When you hit someone with a fist, Fred Sanford always say, "How would you like 5 knuckle sandwiches upside your head?" Matter of fact, I watched a little Fred Sanford the other day. But he said, "How would you like 5 knuckle sandwiches upside your head?" And everybody would say that back in the day, but the truth of the matter is when you hit someone with a fist, you do not hit them with 5 knuckles. You only hit them with 4, if you hit them with it at all. So that's where the 4 upside your head comes from.
Just a couple more on there. It says that you never threw work punches earlier in your career because you had difficulty pulling them because of your boxing career.
Yeah, well, when I got to OVW, man, I don't know I can't remember what they call the dummy that they all have you practicing on. This a little
Bob
MMA dummy. Yeah, whatever. They have Fred, Bob, there's so many. Everybody their own name, but I practiced on him a lot, and I just was never, if I could move him, then I didn't want to throw punches on the guy outside the ring. So I worked on doing forearms, which I was very more comfortable with and can do it and not, knock the crap out of somebody or knock him loopy. I used to take my sister, shout out to Shelly Martinez. I used to take her forearm, and everybody that took her forearm didn't want. We called it the 5-arm daddy because it would knock the living you-know-what out of you. What I did was there was basically Jim Cornette would tell the stories of somebody who would hang a string. They would let a string dangle and they would hit with it. It's some old timer. It was like if you can hit that string and not move it, but your punch looks good, then you can do it. So I, in the effort to get myself better at throwing punches, because Jim Cornette could throw a hell of a punch, man. Gosh. So I started using a light fixture in my bathroom. I was staying in an apartment, and at the time, the lights stuck out from the wall. It had the little switch underneath that you could turn. And so I would be in the mirror, and I would throw my punches at that light. And if I could just touch the bottom of that light, which was a chin for me, and not, knock the light bulb out or, electrocute myself, then I felt I would be okay. And that taught me really early on how to do it. And so when I got, as time went on, again, sometimes the adrenaline rush would get going. Like, gosh, Stevie Richards. There's a clip out there. I'm in the ring on ECW, and we're doing the 4-way. Me, Stevie Richards, Tommy Dreamer, and Kevin Thorne. And Stevie Richards said, "Oh God, why the artillery? Oh my God, please help me!" Sometimes the adrenaline get going, and I really start putting it in there. But for the most part, man, it's not an issue now. But in the beginning and in my amateur days, yeah, I just wouldn't throw them because I had enough respect for who I was in there with that I didn't want to hurt them. I was always taught that if you hurt your opponent, they don't want to work with you, and so you try to make sure you take care of everybody.